My name is Camille McCutcheon, and today I'm going to talk to you about body condition scoring in horses. Body condition scoring, or BCS, is an objective standard that is used to evaluate a horse's physical appearance as well as their levels of stored fat. It is a standard that is used on horses of all ages, breeds, and sizes. It is especially useful when horse owners do not have access to a scale. It is also useful in evaluating the difference between horses of different sizes that may have drastically different weights. Body condition scoring your horse can be essential to ensuring they are healthy and properly fed. The Henneke system is used to evaluate a horse's BCS. The Henneke system was developed by John Henneke at Texas A&M University in the 1980s. It is a numerical scale that ranges from 1 to 9. 1 is a very poor BCS. The horse is emaciated and appears to be skin and bones. 2 is a very thin horse. 3 is thin. 4 is moderately thin. 5 is moderate or fit. 6 is moderately fleshy. 7 is fleshy. 8 is fat. And 9, the highest number, is extremely fat. Each class of horse has a BCS that is ideal for their workload or stage of life. BCSs that are both extremely low, for example 1 to 3, and extremely high, for example 8 to 9, are considered unhealthy for horses. To assess your horse's BCS, you look at 6 main points on the horse where fat can be stored. The first one is along the horse's neck. The second one is behind the horse's shoulder. The third one is the horse's withers. The fourth one is along the horse's rib cage. The fifth one is along the loin, or the hind end of the horse's back. And the last one is around the tail head. When you assess these points, you should place your hand on them and push with your fingers. If the flesh feels hard or firm, there is little or no fat covering the area. If the flesh feels soft or squishy, then you know there is fat covering that area.
This is where you feel for fat along your horse's neck. If it's not spongy at all, your horse is probably a BCS of 5 or below. If it's a little bit spongy, your horse is probably a BCS of 6. If your horse has a lot of fat deposits along their neck, they're probably a BCS of 7 or above. As you can tell, this horse has very spongy flesh behind her shoulder. This is the fat deposit in that area. Since she has a fairly large fat deposit, this area is probably a BCS of 6 or 7. These withers have very little fat covering on them and resemble a horse of a BCS of 5. Withers that are more sunken in would be a BCS of 4 or below, and bulging withers with fat pads on them would be a BCS of 6 or above. The general rule for the rib cage is that if you can see your horse's ribs, they are a BCS of 4 or below. If you can feel your horse's ribs easily but can't see them, your horse is a BCS of 5. If you can just barely feel your horse's ribs, they are a BCS of 6. And if you can't feel their ribs at all, they are a BCS of 7 or above. This horse's ribs can't be seen, but they can just barely be felt, so this region is a BCS of 6. If a horse is very underweight, their spine will protrude along their loin. If a horse is in good weight, their back will be flat along this region. If the horse is a BCS of about 6, they will begin to have a crease along those hindquarters where fat deposits on each side of the spine. If a horse is overweight, this crest will develop into a very large crease down the horse's hindquarters. Similar to the loin, if a horse is underweight, that tail head will protrude and the sides of that tail head will be sunken in, whereas if a horse is overweight, there will be fat pads on either side of that tail head that will grow larger and more spongy as BCS increases.
The Henneke system provides a universal scale for body condition scoring that is used industry-wide. It is both easy to learn and use. Body condition scoring your horse can be helpful to track their weight and ensure they are being fed properly. I hope this video helped you learn about body condition scoring. Thank you for watching.